Welcome to my sick bed, which is normally the couch I'm leaning on when I'm greeting you. Pulled out into its sofa bed format. I don't have any makeup on. I probably look like hell. But I ran out of pre-programmed videos, which I happened to have recorded a number of, because something said, oh, just record a couple every day for a few days, which I never do. I do them as needed, because I like to capture the energy of the moment of wherever I am. And but I did it because I follow those feelings, and I needed them. I haven't been able to speak without coughing like a crazy person for about 2.5, 3 weeks now. I have enough in me to speak today, and I ran out of videos. So I was reminded in this current condition where I am trying to remain, if not horizontal, at least as supported as I might be, with my healing companions, my favorite healing companions. Oh, here's the other one. A sculpture by Gage Prentice that is just awesome. I can't bring it to you to show it up close, but go to gageprentice.com, you can see them. They're amazing. So they're my healing buddies along with my kitties. And, oh, I wanted to read something to you this morning for the little story that I'm going to relate. This is a quote from Benjamin Franklin. And it's a quote that has been, you can't tell, this is a Rolodex card. You know what that is? You can see the brown at the top. I've had this for decades, and it's been at the front of Rolodex that I still keep, because you never know. And it says, God grant that not only the love of liberty, but a thorough knowledge of the rights of man may pervade all the nations of the earth, so that a philosopher may set his foot anywhere on its surface and say, this is my country. He made that statement in Philadelphia on December the 4th, 1789. And it is my fondest dream for the world, which is a one world kind of a thing. Only my one world might be a little bit bigger than other people's one world, which of course is why I'm here chatting. Because some of the beings, well, like probably all of the beings that I have ever seen, and I've seen a variety, come from their own dimensions, and they are as welcome in my world and in my heart as I would like all people to be anywhere on the earth. And I would like all people with their fabulous and amazing ideas and selves to be accepted by every other person on the earth. I would like people that need scientific proof to be open-hearted and welcoming, because you don't need scientific proof to prove that there's a person standing in front of you with a brain that doesn't work like yours and sees more things than you see. That's really all you need to know. We can all accept each other. Likewise, we of the wide minds can accept the people who need proof and have to just know in our hearts that we are the proof. So this little story that I wanted to tell today comes from many years ago, 1988 probably, when I was dying. And then, as now, I would try and recline if I were ill. And I really didn't have much choice then because I could barely walk. But we had set up a kind of I was living with my then husband, Dodd, and my brother, Dan, in a small house in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And instead of a couch, because we didn't like the structure of a couch, and we had a twin bed mattress covered with just throw pillows on it, and that was our couch. It was on the floor, and we were all happy about that. And when nobody was home, I stretched out on that to lie and watch TV or read or whatever I might be doing. And one day I fell asleep. I was probably reading. And I was lying flat down on this bed on the floor, when all of a sudden I was awakened, just startlingly. I didn't hear a sound. I don't know what to tell you awakened me, except possibly it was the presence at the foot of my bed. I opened my eyes, which was about the only thing I could do. Because in addition to my rigidity, the rigidity of my body, which didn't allow me to move much, I couldn't move. I made an attempt to push myself up to see this being. I wasn't going anywhere. I could not move. Now, I wasn't afraid because the demeanor of this being was so kind and so gentle. It was very female, feminine, womanly, motherly, or almost really grandmotherly, very much like a wise, kind woman. Except this was not a woman as we would know a woman. I would say the being stood about maybe 3.5 feet tall. The major shape was rather like an elongated R2-D2, or a vitamin capsule, perhaps, with legs and arms, and a slightly discernible head part that sort of worked into the capsule shape. She was metallic gray, kind of a medium gray, and definitely looked as though she were made of metal. But not robot-like in the standard way, more robot-like, again, in the kind of an R2-D2 way. I've never seen anything like her before or since, and as I say, I was not afraid, even though I was seemingly paralyzed in her presence. And she just stood there with just kind of her arms at her side and her legs straight and just staring at me with this compassionate, it seemed like a very big heart energy. And I took it in. And I took it to mean that I was fine, even though patently and clearly, certainly medically, I was not fine. Something about her presence was conveying to me that I was fine. And I fell asleep, back asleep. And when I awoke, she was gone and I could move. I don't know I have no concept of time on this one at all. Excuse me. Shades of my near past. And this was one of a few experiences I had while I was dying that came to me that told me that I was not dying. And I have to imagine that those things made perhaps all the difference in my being here now. Because it certainly has been proven by science, God bless it. And I do love science. I wanted to be a scientist as a child. I just realized that we would be a bit at odds. And they've pretty much proven that mental attitude makes a huge degree of difference. And I'm reading a book, well, I actually just finished a book now, and I believe it's called The Body Has a Mind of Its Own. It is by a mother and a son, and it is all about brain mapping and the effects of our brain on how we perceive the world. And of course, for people with various kinds of brain damage, there are all sorts of interesting things that happen. And I don't rule out the possibility that there's something in my brain that is different from other people's brains. But I also don't rule out the fact that this is my reality. And that's, I guess, what I'm urging everybody who has this sort of experience. Embrace your reality. It's a good thing. It can be very, very helpful. Okay, I heard my little beeper go off, so I'm out of here for today. And hopefully, when I see you again, I'll be better.